Timeline wars. You know, I haven't done a video out in the rain in a long time. And this is the video to do it for sure. Timeline wars. You know, years ago, just like many of you that might be tuning into this, I wasn't fully aware about our reality and thinking in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And in this latest timeline jump that we've experienced, I didn't really understand this years ago. I'd have all these symptoms and experience all these glitches and things that don't make sense. And you know, when you kind of go together with your body and the symptoms that you have within your body and then the glitches that you experience all at once, you're starting to see that we're kind of jumping timelines and we might be going above and below, if you will. And you might resonate with this. And you know, here we're going to be discussing this out in the rain today, what the timeline jump is all about. It's good to see you all. If you're new to the channel, I'm Michael. I discuss the ascension journey and I make it relevant for everyday life people. I was like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. We're out in the storm right now. And I think about my life, and it was like I was in a whirlwind. It was like a storm came and it kind of like scooped me up and it kind of sent me to a brand new timeline. And that might be you. You might go through periods where there's chaos in your life. You might go through periods where there's chaos that it feels like it's chaos inside of your body. And, you know, going through what we just went through, just feeling the changes that I felt inside of my body, it's always this kind of burnt out feeling. When you really think about electricity, knowing that, you know, you think about your nervous system, and there's almost like there's not words to actually put into this because this is not something that's ever really been discussed before. So when, you know, you have that like almost burnt out feeling, the whole nervous system is kind of like it moved. You know, when we kind of think of the reality, almost like we're floating in an ether, like there's like the timeline, if you will, the reality, if you will. Think of us like floating in an ether and then like constantly like changing and moving. You know, biblically, they talked about being sealed in the forehead, you know, and you might be sealed in the forehead. Are you? You could comment that down below. I'm sealed in the forehead. And your surroundings, your reality could totally change. Everything in the reality could change, except for maybe some other people that also might be sealed in the forehead. Maybe this resonates with you. Maybe this sounds interesting to you. But, you know, I have this experience. I could notice either things could go very dark or they could become very bright. And, you know, we're kind of feeling a little bit brighter right now, those that are maybe on one timeline. And some people, they might be experiencing something that's a little bit darker, a little bit more scary. I know certain people, they live in a certain location, and you know, some people are maybe saying like how it is at that location, and then you know, speaking to her, saying that's not the case. So it's very strange. It's like we're living in two worlds. Some of you are familiar with the Mandela effect. You know, and if you're not familiar with the Mandela effect, I've done many videos on this channel page. You could check them out. But it's almost like there's an infinite amount of realities, but there's almost like there's two main timelines. And we could go above and below. We could go from one to the other and back again. And it kind of helps move us, because sometimes if we don't do this, you know, we kind of get kind of comfortable and we don't move at all. You know, I remember this location. It was a very comfortable place. And I kind of went through this twice. The location, and it was so comfortable, and all of a sudden I went to that same location that was so comfortable and, you know, kind of inviting and felt like home, and I knew like it was the same place, and I'm trying to describe this as best as possible, but it was like it was different. And I didn't feel at home. The whole frequency changed in that location. I couldn't go there anymore. I knew it was the last time it was there, or kind of winding it up. And I kind of felt that twice within two locations. You know, there was also a job that I had. And, you know, I was at this location for 17 years. And, you know, when it was at the end, a place that was my home, you know, the energy was like it was like I was in a different place. Even though it was the same place, I felt like I didn't belong there anymore. I felt like it was totally different, so dark. And you might, you know, hopefully this is resonating with you, because some people, you can't put these things into words, or you feel like no one will listen to me. But the timeline wars, those that are familiar with the superheroes, Secret Wars, the timeline wars is a real thing. And, you know, we constantly see that we're kind of flipping back and forth. That's why I tell you on a consistent basis. And this, you know, this channel and community is for everyday life people. How do you simplify this? You gotta move in the same general direction, and that's being focused on raising your vibrational frequency, even if it's only 1% per day. But you have to, it's constant motion. It's never stagnant. It's always moving. You might have witnessed this. I've spoken to other people, and this is, and please comment down below if this is something that you experienced. You know, you might be, say, sealed in the forehead, but you might have had something that tried to tether you to the lower timeline. Yeah. You might have had something that tried to tether you. You know, you were kind of free. You were breaking free of them. I'm free, I'm free, I'm free, right? You were like, I'm free. But something kind of came into your life, maybe in the past few years, because this timeline war, something that either attempted to or maybe tethered you to that other timeline for a period of time. You know, it is free will, but certain things, you know, it is like a manipulation to, you know, say, oh, I feel guilt or shame. You gotta be well versed in the Hawkins scale of consciousness, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta identify fear, guilt, and shame. And anytime there's a person, place, or a thing that gives you fear, guilt, and shame, you gotta get out of there. When in doubt, cancel it out. You gotta cancel it out. You know, if that resonates with you, why don't you hit that like button? You gotta cancel these things out. But, you know, we're all kind of feeling a lot of changes, and the changes that are inside of our body, it's really not so easy. It's not comfortable. You know, the glitches that we experience where even physical objects in the room move. You know, there's a supplement I take, and I this is something, and again, who's going to believe me? All I could do is share it. And, you know, it's in like a little blister pack, and you know, once you're done with them all, it's just like that foil, and all the blisters are open. And I recall throwing it out and going to the next one. And then later that day, at the end of the day, on my counter, I see a full one and another one with one tablet left in the supplement package. And I'm looking at the two of them sitting on the counter, and I know, and again, you know, I could be just, you know, whatever, but I know when you're sealed in the forehead, you know, I know that I took it and I threw it out in the trash and I started a new one. But then all of a sudden I'm looking and I see two of them sitting side by side on the counter. It's not feasible. It's not possible. And so this happened in the last half a week. You know, 4 or 5. Are we going through the quickening? Let us know in the comments. Are we going through the quickening? Is time speeding up like never before? So you might have that experience of time slippages, glitches in time, and things that, you know, on your journey, you say, you know, how is this possible? And the more that you are, say, sealed in the forehead and you are alert, you know, kind of how long time should take. And then all of a sudden something, you know, it doesn't add up. I'll give you another example. Recently, in the past half week or so, there was a song playing, and I listen to this song all the time. And this song, it skipped like a part. Now, why is this interesting? Because it was a file that's on the phone. It's not like you know, maybe a CD skipped, or does anyone listen to CDs anymore? Or you know, like a record skipped, or maybe there was a radio signal that was thrown off. So it was just a digital thing that I didn't hear it. And I know the piece of the song, and I was like almost singing it in my head, and then it just skipped. So please, we're a community. If any of these strange things that I'm talking about, if it resonates with you, if you had a similar type of experience, please comment it down below. Because timeline wars, oh, it's real. But you take ownership of your life. You know, the seal on the forehead, it's not just a spiritual, biblical kind of thing. It's actually there. And a lot of these things, it's kind of difficult to almost put into words. You know, when I look at the picture of Jesus Christ and the Blessed Mother and some of the saints, years ago they would depict them with a halo, and it doesn't mean that they're an angel. I believe they were depicting the seal on the forehead, a frequency that's emitting from the pineal gland, your third eye, if you will. Maybe that resonates with you. So these are the things that, you know, I'm tussling with right now. And, you know, this is, in the end, it's going to be the greatest story ever told. You might go on your journey, you might have a location, and that location could, you know, kind of feel a certain way, or it might have been home to you, and then all of a sudden you can't be there anymore. It feels like a totally different frequency. You might have an individual. I was just talking to someone in the gym about this, and you know, they're acting one way, and then the next day they're acting totally different, like a total 180. And you might have people that come into your life, and you know them. You might know them well, and then all of a sudden they're going 180. They're going the wrong way. You know, when you deal with ascension, you got to focus on moving up. Some people in this matrix reality, in the reality of duality, that kind of rhymes. They're worried about going left and right. But for true ascension, the only thing that you have to worry about is moving up. And on a daily basis, keep going. And so it is. If you find this message interesting and you would like to learn more about our reality in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, why don't you click subscribe, give the video a like so it becomes visible to more people, and please share with one other person, because when we all share with one other person, we will rapidly grow our 5D community. I appreciate each and every one of you, and you know, we're constantly going through this journey together. This is really the greatest story ever told. In the upper left-hand corner, I'll be placing a video that I posted. It's very relevant right now. The rapture on the other side. You know, sometimes we think of things just that, oh, it's just a spiritual woo-woo thing. But when we think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, you might resonate with this message. You feel like you're on one timeline and maybe on the other timeline. You're witnessing glitches, things aren't adding up. Collaboratively, collectively, we're gonna put this all together. And you know, it really is it's an interesting time period, and you know, please check that video out. I'll also put it in the pinned comment, and check out the channel page. And we're constantly sharing the greatest story ever told. You know, some people, they got to go to the movies, and I like the movies. You know, we actually learn from the movies. If you watch the movie with the open third eye, you actually learn from the movies, and I like some of them. But who needs a movie right now? We're in the greatest story ever told. So I love each and every one of you. Stay focused. Know that you're sealed in the forehead. You know, and all you could do is focus on yourself, raising your vibrational frequency. If you're going to have to simplify things right now. It's so confusing. So simplify things. Just focus on raising your vibrational frequency. Focus on your physical wellness, your mental wellness, and your spiritual wellness. Yeah. So I love you all. Keep going, kid.